What it do? Welcome to The Common Fan. I'm your host, Austin Dunston, joined today by Braxton Teal, Colton Teal, and we have Nathan Massey back. We decided to kick him off last week, but in my last video, I said that if you'd watched the show, you could come back on. So I'm assuming you watched, right?
Yes, sir. Watched it and finally back on and happy to be here.
Yeah. We're glad to have you back, kind of, right now. How's y'all's week been? Y'all have a good week?
No.
What do you... Explain. All right. No.
Man, I've had some traumatic life events this week.
Well, you're going to have to explain.
Okay, number one, if you haven't seen the last two shows, I have had this beautiful little finger splint on. I had surgery about 6-7 weeks ago now.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. But I had a pin in my finger from the tip about halfway down my finger. And then this week I got it pulled out.
Yeah.
Which was pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I bet.
And then number two, last Sunday I got like the world's worst sunburn, which is never fun.
Never.
But when you're 1/16 ginger, it's even worse.
I probably am too. I get sunburned worse than anybody.
No, it was bad. So I have learned through, Reddit and Google searches that I have this condition that when you get really bad sunburn, it's an autoimmune condition.
Right.
It messes with your histamine levels. But it's commonly described as
those things.
Those are.
hell's itch or the devil's itch.
Interesting. That sounds satanic.
I want no part of that.
Yeah,
honestly,
no, hard pass.
So what it is
Mom
like
said the ditch is the devil.
what?
I have no idea. Keep going.
But
Bobby
it
Boucher.
feels like there's like ants crawling all over
man.
you, and
Yeah.
I literally had Tourette's. I was like convulsing. It was miserable for probably like 24 hours. It was awful.
Colton said that he's like,
Yeah.
did you notice Braxton twitching? I
Like
was
2 days
what?
ago, we were just sitting on the couch beside each other, and Braxton's just like, I'm like, are you okay? He was like, yeah, I'm fine. He's like, oh my God, he's really developed something here. Huh?
I got you.
But we're good. We're back.
Oh, you're good
We're
now?
back. So glad to be here.
Oh,
so
well, good.
all smiles.
All smiles. Teal, what about you? How's your week been?
I mean, that made my week, so that's all I have to talk about.
So you had a good week.
Yeah, I've had a good week just because of that.
Right, exactly. Massey, what about you? What's up?
Had a pretty good week down at the beach with my family. Got some good family time in, but definitely
yeah.
happy to be back with the boys. So.
Rocking the Gulf Shores
The
visor.
Gulf Shores.
Had to represent.
I told him when he showed up in that, I was like, I almost called you before the show and told you not to wear that visor.
Yeah.
Bring visors back. That is
Dad
my
vibes
stance.
are hard right now.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure. But something that we've been talking about, I'm going to kind of just go into what we've been talking about because it's been going on all week. We've been kind of discussing rule changes in
Right.
sports.
Yeah.
And really what brought it about was the NFL's proposal
For the onside kick.
for the onside kick. And then Braxton was like, well, what about this? And then he explained this to me. And I just want you to tell our viewers what you've been talking about.
Well, I mean, so obviously we're all sports fans here. We've watched sports for forever, and I've lived a little long enough to have seen a couple rule changes that have had outcomes on sports, and then I've seen different proposed changes as well. But just to kind of speak to what Austin's talking about, the NFL has proposed a alternative to the onside kick rule.
Yeah.
So onside kicks, obviously it's been a part of the game forever, but the success rate is always fairly low, which in my mind it should be.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So just statistic-wise, 2017 success rate, 21%. 2018 dropped to 6%.
God.
2019, 14%. And I believe like 7 of that was the Falcons when they had like 5 in a row.
Yeah.
The
Young
one
Hoku.
kicker. Yeah, the
Yeah.
one kicker that got all of them.
Bro, he crafty dude.
Made a lot of
Hoku.
money that 1 week.
Oh,
He did.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
so the NFL has proposed to, rather than attempting an onside kick, the team would have basically a 4th and 15-yard play that from their own 25-yard line, and converted, then they would keep the ball.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But in my mind, that's so much easier to convert a 4th and 15 than an onside kick.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just a Derrick Henry run, honestly.
At least against the Jaguars, it is.
yeah.
And you got to think that's got to be trick play central.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it would be fun to watch, but the good part about an onside kick to me is like how awesome it is when your team actually gets one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of takes that magic out of, you're down by a touchdown with no timeouts left.
Right.
And you're going to attempt an onside kick. You're probably not going to get it. But the one time out of however many that you do, it's just like so special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You definitely
Yeah.
hit the lowest of lows and the highest of highs during that like
Exactly.
5 minutes
bro.
of real life time.
The
from
suspension?
when you think that you're not going to win the game and you have no chance because it's an onside kick. You're like,
Right.
oh, well, like this has to be a miracle.
Yeah.
To the absolute high that you feel whenever you like
Yes.
actually see
Yeah.
your fourth string linebacker come running out of the pile with the football in his hand. You're like, no way we're going to do it. And
Dude,
at
that's
that
so
point,
true.
at that point in time, you're going to score because anything is possible. Like at least in your
Yeah.
mind, you're going to win the game now
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the odds of you getting the onside kick
Yeah.
were so
So
low
low.
that anything's possible from here on out.
Yeah.
For sure. But this kind of brought about Braxton saying, well, what other changes in other sports would make it more interesting?
Right.
And so I think you've got one that you kind of wanted to share with all of us.
Okay, so this is completely out of left field.
Yeah,
but-
okay. If anybody watches, they know that whatever you're going to say is so far out of left field. So you're
Yeah.
good.
All right, so
You're good.
The wild card. For
I am
sure.
Absolutely.
and I don't know if anybody on this table is a soccer fan at all.
Yeah.
World
yeah.
Cup.
Negative.
World
Yeah.
Cup.
No, not at all.
Honestly, bro, I got into FIFA for a little bit, but other than that, I've never really watched soccer.
Right.
It's just never appealed to me. And to be honest, I think it's the low chance of goals. You know, you go 90 minutes and score one goal in a game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's cool. They run up and down, but at the same time, not a lot of scoring going on.
Right. And that's the same with hockey, but hockey's like way more fast paced.
Yeah, 'cause they're
and there's
hitting each other.
contact. And but
Contact.
sorry, I just wanted to say
they can
that.
legally fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So go ahead. Sorry.
So my proposed plan is to make soccer like hockey. So make
Fights.
well,
Bring back five.
Fist fights.
let's quit flopping first off. But
Yeah,
number
that
two,
has to be.
let's extend the field past the goal to where you can play behind it.
That would be
Oof.
extremely intense, I feel like.
But like, can you imagine just little chips over the goal and somebody running in and heading it in? Like, I feel like goals would increase by like 40-50% at least.
Corner
kicks would be
where you
dirty.
kick behind, head it over,
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
kick it
yeah.
in because at that point,
Yeah.
you're up on top of the goal.
Yeah, you
shot.
can't-
It'll never happen because,
No.
you know, obviously soccer's very traditional.
Exactly.
But so is the NFL. Like, I thought the NFL was above the level of being gimmicky and changing the onside kick rule.
Right.
But here we are with a proposed plan. And quite honestly, I feel like that proposed plan has come from XFL.
Teal, you look like you have something to say.
No, I'm good right now. I'm just waiting for him to end, man.
I'm done. Go.
You got one, Teal?
I guess so. It's a little different. Okay.
Okay.
So obviously everybody knows that minor league systems are quite popular in baseball, quite popular in the NBA. I
Yeah.
mean, with the rise of the G League and the NBA and high school prospects being able to go straight from high school now to the G League, that's a great thing. So what if the NFL was to add something along the lines of the XFL or the AAF where they both failed and they add their own minor league system?
Interesting.
So maybe you have like a different period of time where you play that season.
Right, yeah.
You play with practice squad players.
Yeah. So,
So-
here's my thing. Okay, this kind of parlays into what my rule change was going to be.
Yeah.
So the XFL. Okay,
Yeah.
I know it's bankrupt now, and I'm really sad. I was a Dallas Renegades diehard fan.
Renegade.
For 2 months.
for 2
Renegade.
months. I liked Bob Stoops. But anyway, so imagine the rules that the XFL had, like the 2 forward passes. That would be sick in the NFL.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
The 3-point conversions.
Yeah.
Like that would
Yeah.
be awesome. And so hear me out. What if they would have, I mean, coulda, woulda, shoulda, I guess. But what if they would have made the XFL like a minor league system
Exactly.
that fed into the NFL?
Right.
So yeah, you
Does that
have
make
your
sense?
MLB where you test the rules in
Yes.
the minor league.
Yes.
So now
Yeah.
you have the exact same thing for the NFL, and then of course that's increased viewership. Everybody loves an underdog story, so you're like, oh, this player's really great on our minor league team. Let's bring him up. And
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Being able to bring somebody up is the biggest thing.
Oh,
You
for
know?
sure. I feel like that's somewhere where the XFL could have gone.
yeah,
Exactly.
Can you imagine the electricity in the building when Johnny Manziel is a part of a
Ooh.
double forward pass?
I know
Yeah.
Austin is a huge Johnny Manziel fan.
Money Manziel, baby. Come on now.
I think we
You
all
can't-
are.
One
It's
of the
hard to
best college
dislike
football
him.
players ever
Yeah.
changed
Yeah.
my mind. I mean, he was one of the best college football players
Changed the
of
game
all
for
time.
quarterbacks.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of, in my mind, one of the biggest dual threat quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He kind of
Oh,
set the
yeah. He was a-
stage
yeah,
for
he
a
was a
dual threat
pioneer,
quarterback.
Absolutely.
I think he's comparable in college to how Lamar was in the NFL this year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I think where it's
Yeah.
just like nobody really knew what to do with him yet,
Right.
and he just dominated everybody.
Yeah.
But
I mean-
now that they know it can exist, everybody wants it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it was so hard to stop whenever
Yeah.
whenever he was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But especially the first year with Johnny in football, you're like, what in the hell is going on right now?
Yeah.
Like, who is this dude? This white dude's
Exactly.
running all over our team.
Yeah.
He's throwing the ball everywhere.
Absolutely.
Like,
Bro, I
my
remember when he
gosh.
played the Titans, he slung the ball all over when we played them.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that was like the one good game he had in the NFL.
Johnny Manziel,
Of course,
I mean,
against the Titans.
we're really off on a tangent, but in my opinion, Johnny Manziel, he was a really big head case, obviously, but I think he had the tools to make it in the NFL. But he was kind of before the time of Lamar Jackson. Does that
true.
make sense? Like
Yeah.
it was a time when you were a pro style quarterback, you were a pocket passer, and you have a cannon.
Right.
And now
Right.
it's kind of shifting away from that. He might have just been a little before his time. I know that's kind of a
Yeah.
hot take.
No,
maybe.
it's true because
you know what I
it goes
mean?
to play calling.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
I think he could have been
If you have a
used-
traditional play call, you can't adapt
Right.
into what you want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was about to say, I think that's something where like how we saw Mariota used a little bit towards the end of the year, or like a Taysom Hill or
Exactly,
something like
yeah.
like Johnny Manziel
Right.
in that situation, like one of the most electrifying runners
Yeah.
as a quarterback in college, like we had mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the ability to run with him, or like a
Yeah.
bubble screen, like double pass situation, like
Yeah.
that would be awesome to watch.
Right. 5 years ago, it would never happen.
No,
For
not
sure.
even a thought.
So
It's getting there.
I'm gonna reel us back in.
Good.
So Massey, did you have any rule changes that could happen or have happened that changed the game or could change the game in any sport?
I think that so I'm sticking with the NFL on this one.
Yeah.
I think that this is widely discussed, widely accepted as far as the fans go, and I'm surprised it has not happened yet, and I think it will happen at some point. The NFL needs to change their overtime rules. They're the worst rules in all of
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah.
You get, like, you see these 7 overtime games in college that you have thousands of people from all over the country because of
Yeah.
the different time slots
Yeah.
staying up on the East Coast, and you're tuning in at the end of it on the West Coast. You're watching all these big time games. And then at the same time, you see, I believe it was Mahomes a couple years ago where they went into overtime in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And one of your biggest faces in all of the NFL didn't even get to touch the field
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the other team got the ball first. I believe it was the Patriots. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah.
But they got the ball, scored on the first possession, and that's the game over. Like, that's the most anticlimactic situation possible. And I think it's idiotic for the NFL to still have it around.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand, like, what do you gain from keeping that rule?
Yeah, no, I could not agree more. The fact that the NFL can still end in a tie in regular
That's
season
crazy.
is
Exactly.
the
Crazy.
dumbest thing possibly in all
Yeah.
of sports.
Ties, period, in sports just frustrating.
It's so
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah.
What's another sport that even has a tie? Soccer.
Baseball. I mean,
Soccer.
baseball does in freaking summer league, but that's not in professional.
But that's not professional.
like-
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like soccer, like we
Soccer
said,
does.
hockey
Yeah.
does it, and they have shootouts. I mean,
Right.
literally, the NFL's pretty much the only major professional sport that can end in a tie.
Exactly.
And if you have a tie on your record, you might as well not even played the game.
It was
Exactly.
You
yeah,
just took
I
a
think it's
huge
dumb.
step back.
It very, very rarely ever helps your situation.
No,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
The only time it ever helps is if you're 9-6-1 and the other team in your division is 9-7.
And it
Or a
seems like
situation
it
that.
happens at least once every year.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
where somebody
it
gets in
has to
trouble
happen.
for it.
Yeah,
It should not happen.
And that's
speaking on-
part of that rule change I'm talking about is like, you just look at college football, like it was my example. I think they should honestly go to the college football scenario, or even if you wanted to keep the kickoff around, or if you wanted to keep like having to drive the whole field, it should still be a shootout of sorts. It should be you're
Yeah.
allowed to respond, at bare minimum allowed to respond.
Right.
Yeah.
And first score, like I understand they do it if you kick a field goal, and like that's all fun and games. Like congrats, you figured that much out. But I think it's extremely stupid if the team scores a touchdown and game over.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Well,
yeah.
I think that's a great place to end this first segment. We're going to take a really quick break, and we're going to come back with a new segment, and we'll explain it when we get there, so stay tuned.
All three of us were like, all right, boys and girls, welcome back to the Common Fan. And as you can tell, I'm the captain now.
He's the captain now.
Sadly.
Hey, let's see what you got, bro.
So if you can't tell here, we have this beautiful wheel that Austin is super proud of.
Me and my wonderful girlfriend made it. It's made of
Shout out.
pure 24 karat gold. It's incredible.
We're clearly fans of low budget films, and this is what we came up with.
like
Do it
Avatar.
for $1.
So
Stop saying Avatar.
Such a bad example.
on topic, here we go.
Sorry, go. Yeah.
So, just to give you a little personality feel of what the guys are like, I'm going to be asking them some questions. questions. I'll spin the wheel. We'll go around the room. It'll land on something. They'll get a question and answer it. And I imagine there will be some debate.
Yeah. I'm assuming I'm going first.
100%.
Because I literally felt it. I was like, oh, gosh. When you said, we get to know the guys, I was like,
so,
oh, God.
question is, are you ready?
I suppose. Let's see what you got. I wish there was a
I know.
Yeah,
that would make
same.
it so much better.
top three. Okay.
Top
That was
three.
good.
Interesting.
Let's
Good
go.
timing.
All right. Top 3
Okay.
dog breeds.
Top 3. Okay. Gotta be a black lab up
Okay.
there.
Respect.
This might be crazy, but a Great Dane. I
Bro,
love.
honestly, yeah.
I love Great. They're huge and they're adorable, and I really want a Great. They don't live that long though.
It's Scooby Doo, and then it just drops off from there for me for Great Danes.
Is he a Great Dane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
Definitely is.
Wow.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Do you not see how big he is compared to all the humans on that show?
No, I did
It's
not
a
know that.
cartoon. They just made him bigger. I didn't
Okay.
think he was a.
I don't
keep
just
going.
keep
It
keep
just
going.
going.
doesn't-
He's a
okay,
Great
sorry.
Dane. He's a
Okay,
Great Dane.
last one of my top 3 is probably a German short-haired pointer. Do you know what dogs those are?
oddly
The ones
specific.
that stand like this and they point, and they're really good hunting dogs.
You missed golden retriever, bulldogs,
Huskies,
huskies,
hound
trash,
dog,
trash.
Australian
Moving
Shepherd.
on, because I
Trash.
hate all of your answers.
Those are terrible.
Oh, shut up.
What we got? What we got?
Top 3. Again.
Again, okay, cool.
Top 3 fast food restaurants. Go quick.
Chipotle, Cookout, In-N-Out.
Long John Silver's.
Number 1, you have never been to In-N-Out.
I think I have.
No.
I'm pretty
In-N-Out?
confident.
Have you ever been to Texas, California, anywhere over there?
I think it was in Florida. Maybe I'm thinking of Whataburger.
You're
I'm
thinking of
You're
Whataburger.
probably thinking of Whataburger.
Fans, I'm sorry.
In-N-Out
okay?
is super overrated. Fun fact.
I've heard.
Shake
I've heard
Shack
it's-
is way better than In-N-Out.
I've heard.
I've
Yeah.
been to
Yeah.
neither.
Shake Shack's honestly really good.
Yeah, Shake. There's one in Green Hills.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah, yeah.
replace Shake Shack with Whataburger.
You don't know
Sorry.
what you're talking about.
Get out
Okay.
of here.
Yo.
I mean, okay, let's see what Massey's got. I wish there was we got to have some music playing. or
Off the
something.
wall.
Off the wall.
I don't even know what this means.
All right,
I
this
don't
is going to be
either.
a
I'm kinda
little
nervous.
better here.
Fans.
Who wins in a fight? 10-year-olds or 100-100-year-olds?
Oh, come on, Massey. That's easy.
I got to go with 100
Yeah.
year olds because the
No,
sheer,
all day.
the sheer amount knowledge
10
and sheer
10-year-olds?
amount.
Their motor patterns are so slow.
Have you talked to a 10-year-old lately?
10-year-olds are
Yeah, they're
vicious. I will give
aggressive.
them that. But like,
They are as aggressive. Have you seen
But
them
they're not
things in
as
a
smart.
playpen?
100-year-olds would just
wait,
scare them to death.
What
just have to
playpen
do
are
it
you
for the-
going to look at that
Okay,
looks like
yeah.
a fight club?
Moving on.
Oh my goodness. What is that?
Scale 1 to 10.
Scale of 1 to
Yeah,
10.
tons
Okay.
of
All right, scale 1 to 10.
All right.
What's your feelings on The Office?
Oh, like a 9.7.
Ooh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
Like
easy,
up there.
easy.
We were talking about that earlier
Easy.
today because I quote Michael Scott all the time.
I'm a
But
huge Office guy.
The Office is amazing, and if you say otherwise, you're just wrong. It's just
yeah.
it's awesome.
It's not even a
I'm going
debate.
9.7. It's way up there.
I lose a lot of respect when people say they don't like The Office.
I'm a
like,
huge dry humor guy, so I
yeah.
yeah,
love
for
it.
sure.
You
Never
gotta
watched
100%.
it.
Oh yeah,
So you have to
Alright.
watch it now.
yeah. You do have to watch The Office. You also have to watch Outer Banks.
He hasn't watched a lot of
Scale 1 to 10.
Okay, this is getting excessive.
No, it's not.
Really
no,
bad.
it's not.
All right, thoughts on. All right, so this one's kind of off the wall, but thoughts on a well done steak. So,
Like,
like if
well
you
done
order a
as in
steak,
burnt?
yeah, if you order a steak, do you order it medium? Do you order it medium rare?
Medium rare. Yeah, well done's not that good. It takes the
It's a
flavor out of
hamburger.
it.
It's beef
Exactly.
jerky.
Yeah, it
Nothing
takes the flavor out
cringes
of it.
me more when I go to a restaurant and somebody asks for a steak and then they order it and they're like medium well or well done. It's
Yeah.
literally. Do you
So you
want
just want it
ketchup with
burnt.
it? It's literally a burger.
Burger.
Literally, my mom eats steaks well done with ketchup. Like no BS.
I just lost
Moving
a little
on.
respect.
All right.
I'm telling you, it's the wildest thing I've ever seen.
No bueno.
I want a would you rather. Oh,
Off the wall.
off the
Off
wall.
the wall.
Is that what you got last time?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is.
All
It's
right.
his turn, though.
You can start.
No,
a
it's your
fo-
turn.
I just want.
Oh, okay.
You
Okay.
start a football team, right? You
Right.
can pick any fictional character to be your quarterback. Who is it?
Is this like cartoons or just
Anybody. Anything. Who you got?
Any fictional character.
Ooh, I'm gonna put the Hulk as my defensive end.
Okay, I clearly asked for a quarterback.
That was.
Quarterback.
What are
I'm
you?
gonna put the
I missed that
Hulk.
part.
What
okay,
quarterback?
Rico.
I got my defensive
Uncle
end,
Rico.
though.
Uncle Rico.
That's a good answer.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
I don't.
pretty good.
I don't even have one. I probably put like a superhero back
I
there.
completely missed the
100%.
quarterback part of that question.
Pablo
That's on me.
Sanchez is my quarterback.
Ooh, good pick. Good
He
pick.
immediately goes with a defensive end.
Top
three.
three.
I'm getting tired of these.
Deal.
Top 3 ice cream flavors.
Oh, number one by far. Most people probably don't know this, but it's cookie jar. I know that's kind of confusing, but
I've
it's
never
literally
seen
just
that.
vanilla with a bunch of crushed up cookies in it, and it's amazing. Okay.
I mean, I'm a big cookie guy, so that sounds good.
Number 2, mint chocolate chip.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with you there.
Incredible. Love mint chocolate chip. And number 3,
Sensational.
I'm going to go with,
Sensational.
this is kind of boring answer, but just plain vanilla. If you can get plain vanilla correctly, there's nothing better going with chocolate
Like an
cake.
old-fashioned plain
Yeah,
vanilla.
like
Yeah,
I just think it's a better
there's nothing
solid
better
pie.
going with chocolate cake. It's
it's
just
like-
not going to happen.
I just think vanilla, like for me, the thing that knocks it down is like it's like a side. Like you can't just eat vanilla ice cream.
Exactly.
Okay,
It has to
yeah,
be
that's
on
fair.
It has to be
something
on something
for it
like
to be
that.
exactly.
Like a
Okay,
pie or
fair, but
something.
still, it's up there
tick.
in
It
my
is, it
in
is.
my humble opinion.
All right.
Give me a would you rather.
Scale 1 to 10.
Teal, I'm going to hit you.
Oh my God. Scale 1 to 10 on TikTok.
8. It's okay. Like
Great
It's an
time
above
waster.
average. Yeah, it's an above average app. There are some really stupid things on there, and there are some trends that are just like
Yes. We went over this yesterday. Teal uses TikTok the wrong way.
no,
Yeah,
that's not
100%.
true.
Like
Worst TikTok
okay.
liker of
yeah.
videos ever.
We went through all our likes, and mine and Massey's are hilarious. They're so
Yeah,
funny.
they're okay.
And
All
all of
comedy.
Teal's are like, let's rank music or
No,
the best way to
make money
at
online.
home. Like,
Stocks to invest in.
Nothing funny.
How to
practical
make
So-
protein banana chocolate chip cookies.
yeah, literally, it's awful.
I'm ashamed.
yeah, no, it's literally
awful.
terrible.
All right,
That's
what do we got?
honestly terrible.
Scale 1 to 10.
I didn't do it. Y'all
We're
should be
doing a
proud.
would you rather
Thank you.
because we got to get through some.
Yeah, let's do
take
a
that.
Just spin it to the white. Spin it to
little
the
bit.
white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Would
got
you
finally got
rather?
a would you rather.
Would you rather have hot dogs as fingers or hamburgers for booty cheeks?
Definitely hamburgers for booty cheeks.
Booty cheeks.
100%.
Honestly, that's kind of the situation Colton already has going on.
He's got more
Look
than
at him.
buns.
Don't take that into account. We'll clip that.
Oh, nothing would you rather. Two in a row, bro.
All right. Would you rather only have knees or only have elbows?
Oh, what?
I don't.
The other
have
joint is just
elbows.
completely straight. So you either have completely straight arms or completely straight legs.
Completely straight
Got
legs.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Gotta be
for sure.
Gotta be
think?
arms for me. Gotta be
Dude,
arms.
If that's happening, if I'm having that, I'm just chopping off the legs.
You
I'm
could
going
still be
straight
really good
into
at
a
cricket.
wheelchair, and I've got my arms. So like, if you're like stuck like this all the time, you're screwed. Like you're not doing anything.
You would have to adjust to pick up anything.
yeah.
So
So
you're either reach straight down or straight out,
I just
or like
picture
on this
that.
axis. So like if I wanted to grab that water bottle, I have to lean perfectly up to it and then go up and down.
yeah, 100% have.
And then how do you
elbows.
drink or eat?
Exactly.
Just like pour
Easy
from up
one.
top.
Another would you rather?
On a roll.
Would you rather have finger-sized nipples or nipple-sized fingers?
What is a finger size?
Immediately
Is
looked
it-
at my
okay,
hands.
time out.
A
Is it
nipple
going
size of
like
your
this?
No,
or is
it's
it going
straight
like
out.
that?
Straight out.
Oh my god.
What is a
So
nipple
either
sized finger?
tiny, tiny fingers or really large nipples.
I'm gonna do tiny fingers. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I got in a severe accident with a boat.
Oh, and you just got all of them
Yeah,
lopped
exactly.
off.
They're gonna look like nipples.
Yeah, that is pretty disgusting.
That is weird.
I'm kind of ashamed by
Imagine-
that answer as
Can you
well.
imagine
We're
just like
moving
a
on.
bunch of little nipples on the end of your head?
Oh my god.
Top.
3.
Good lord, this is going downhill fast.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is going uphill in my opinion.
Top 3. Give me top 3 superpowers.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
that's good.
Okay. Invisibility.
Yes.
Yep.
These are not like 1, 2, 3. These are just top 3.
Any order?
Invisibility, mind reading,
Okay.
Interesting.
Telekinesis.
and let's go super strength. Just to,
You don't want to
The
fly?
ability to fly. Yep. Nice. Nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, if you, no, not for me.
That's what
No.
a bird.
I'm kind of
says.
scared of heights though, so that definitely plays into it.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like you wouldn't be if you could fly.
But imagine if
Oh,
you could fly.
I can't
but
see
you're
what
scared
is
of
Scale
it.
heights.
1 to 10.
Scale 1 to 10.
Scale 1 to 10 on. Let's do hot chicken.
Hot chicken? Okay, that depends. Like Nashville hot chicken, like
Yeah,
from
sure.
Hattie B's
Yeah.
or Party Foul? Probably like a 7, 8.
Ooh.
That's honestly high.
I thought you were about to
I'm
say
not a hot
6.
chicken guy.
Okay, well let me rephrase. Like not
You
chicken
can't
to where like I'm
handle
just
it.
like sweating and miserable, but like a little bit of heat with ranch, like it's really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I have a hot,
spicy guys.
I have a
so-
hot take. I don't like spicy food at all.
Yeah.
Really?
We
Any
didn't
of it.
ask.
Yeah, you're really soft. Yeah,
off
wait,
the
when?
wall. Off the wall.
Off the wall?
Yeah.
All right. I can do with that. If you had to get a lip tattoo, what would it say?
No regrets.
Solid. That's a solid answer.
Moving on.
That was honestly a really good answer.
It really was, yeah.
Would you rather?
Would you rather? All right.
This is me, right? Yeah.
Would you rather always have the hiccups or always have a headache?
Oh, hiccups.
Yeah, gotta
just because
be.
like hiccups would be annoying, but headache would be enabling.
Yeah, but like I wouldn't want to swing on everyone like all the time. When
I
I have a
know.
headache, I'm just like,
Yeah, you're so out of it if you have a headache. Hiccups are just like annoying. Like you just like can't get rid
Yeah,
of them.
yeah,
But like
yeah.
headache, you just like you're insufferable at that point. Everybody's insufferable to you, and then you're just mean to everybody.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, we kind of reached the end of the segment. Do you want to do one rapid round?
One rapid
All
round.
right, let's go quick.
Spin it.
Actually, how about you just give us your favorite questions?
All right, we can
Let's
do
do
it.
that. Forget the wheel. Let's do it.
Sorry, Will.
This is a great one for you.
Okay.
What movie most recently made you cry?
Interstellar.
Okay.
Marley and Me.
Dude,
No explanation.
every
I don't
time.
even know.
Every
I
time.
don't watch movies that make me cry, but
don't
Interstellar.
either.
Would you rather have a disproportionate body or have an extra body part?
Extra body part.
What body part?
Toe.
No, it's got to be
Make
a
it very
limb.
useful. Just have an extra toe.
What do you mean? Like, can I have a tail?
Yeah.
I want
Oh
a tail.
no. Oh
All right, to wrap us up, and this is a great one for Nathan. How long would you have to starve before you become a cannibal?
Oh, gosh.
Oh goodness.
2 days.
Probably like 35 minutes.
I'm gonna have to say, since I'm pretty sure you die after 3 weeks, I'm gonna go 2 weeks and 6 days.
How do you know that? Doesn't
Okay,
matter.
yeah.
Okay, that's
That's
probably,
a good-
probably a good
that's-
answer.
don't
It's,
listen to
no,
that.
it's a very common thing. It's 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without
And
food.
that's the
Yeah.
segment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bringing
On to
knowledge.
the next.
Bringing knowledge.
All right, we're going to
Nathan's
take
a
a break,
cannibal.
and we'll see you once we come back. Thanks.
Welcome back into the Common Fan. We've been discussing this for like a while now because unless you've been living under a rock, you know about Coach Doug's and Barstool Big Cat, and he plays for the Vols. Blah blah blah.
Go
blah, blah,
Vols.
blah, blah,
Feels
blah,
like
Go
an
Ducks,
98.
go.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, he's not real. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so this kind of sparked about what it made me think of was what if they dropped in NCAA football 21, and which we all know isn't possible until they start paying college athletes money to play the game and using their likeness and all that jazz. So the question that I have proposed for all of you is, should college athletes be paid? So I'm going to let y'all go, and then I'll give
Okay.
you my opinion.
Okay.
Simple yes or no, yes.
Yeah, simple yes or no, yes.
Okay. Simple yes or no, right now. We'll explain it in a minute.
Yes, no.
Yes, no. Okay,
mean-
mine's a yes, 100%
100%.
yes. And I'll tell you why. Okay, so you think about college football, at least Division I major college football, okay? Think about how much money they bring
market.
in. I
Yeah.
mean,
A
it's
ton.
especially with the college football playoff now.
Yeah,
Because like you were saying last episode, if you don't watch football, you're going to watch the college football playoff.
exactly.
Because if nothing else, it's something that means a lot to everybody in the country. You know what I mean?
People have like viewing parties and all that good stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost up there with the Super Bowl. I mean, it's huge, especially now. So I don't understand why these athletes that are grinding all year, not just during season, all year. We're talking fall, spring, all
it's a
summer.
year-round.
It's a
100%.
year-round sport.
And not just football.
Not just that's
Right.
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Not just football, baseball, basketball, all the major sports. I mean, volleyball, even hockey. Like
Gymnastics.
you can think about
Can't forget about it.
Think about how much money they bring into the school.
Yeah.
And the fact that we can't pay them money just because they're college athletes makes zero sense to me.
Yeah.
And in my take, pay them money, yes, but it needs to be done the right way.
Exactly. Well, do you have like a picture of what that would look like?
Yeah.
So every single one of us sitting here played a college sport, all at different division levels.
Yes.
So 3, 2, 1, JUCO life.
JUCO baby.
JUCO products. Bandits.
Shout out Eric.
I mean, across the board, y'all understand what the grind is like. You understand how it affects your college life.
Right.
But you think at major Division I, there needs to be standards. Otherwise, you have a bidding war for the top recruit in the nation, right?
Yeah.
So I think there needs to be some form of standards. I think if you're looking at the Division I level, the kicker needs to be paid just as much as the 5-star quarterback.
Yeah.
It's the same exact salary.
Yeah.
obviously we all know that incentives are being handed over under the table currently.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Lord knows it'll happen once you can actually pay them.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
At
from
Georgia
a
football.
standard from a standard
Yeah, we know.
standpoint, it needs to be set.
Yeah.
I don't know what that number is, but it needs to be across the board. Otherwise, you're going to have a very unfair advantage for these major SEC schools like in
Yeah.
Alabama or Georgia.
Yeah,
Right.
completely agree. So maybe you propose like a minimum and maximum wage, and the discrepancy between those two is very small. Say it's like a $10 to $15 mark. So Alabama is paying their players $15, while heck, my school, the University of North Alabama, is paying 10
Right.
for every hour you train.
Yeah.
So I mean, at that point, you don't really have huge gaps between schools. Maybe like a couple dollars, but honestly, nothing to care
Right.
about if you're an athlete.
It would definitely have to be a salary versus hourly kind of thing.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
It's going to have to be a set pay schedule for sure.
exactly.
Because then you that would avoid you having people clock in to do gym work and stuff, and then just go sitting there for 3 hours and get
Well,
paid
I
for
mean,
an hourly wage.
Thinking about the grind, I mean, a 40-hour work week, I can guarantee you any sport, you're putting in more than 40 hours,
Oh, yeah.
especially
Oh,
in season.
absolutely.
And don't let
Especially in
like you
season.
mentioned the divisions, and I know none of y'all think this, but just for the viewers out there, don't discount any division as less work just because it's
100%.
considered a
No
lower level.
chance.
Like I know, like you said, all of us are
Yeah.
from different levels, and we've all experienced very similar, like hour wise, maybe
Right.
different ways, different facilities, stuff like that is obvious. But the work is always still being put in, no matter where you are or who you play for.
Bro, D3 lives matter.
Hey, D2 as well. Come on now.
I mean,
was there
but
for a
honestly,
second.
though, like you said, like obviously it probably depends on your coach and the program and things like that. But I mean, you're putting in hours, and it
Yeah.
truly affects your school life as well.
It affects everything.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Everything.
Because when we spitball this earlier, I was talking about how there should almost be a separate grading scale for an athlete versus there is a regular student.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because you think about, you wake up at 6 a.m., you go lift, you have an 8 a.m. class, a 10 a.m. class, a 11:30 class, whatever it may be. Then you're on the practice field from 3 to 6, 7:30. By the time you
If not
eat,
longer.
shower,
Yeah.
and get to the library, it's 10:30.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you have a test the next day. You're up till 3, 4 a.m. studying, and you got a 5-hour gap to study when all these other students got,
Yeah. yeah.
12.
And imagine
Right.
having a job or anything like that
Exactly.
on top of it. Like
It's not possible
it's
to have
near
a job
impossible.
and stuff on top
It's
of
near
it.
impossible.
Unless you're door dashing.
I mean,
Like that, you can do that.
DoorDash.
Shout out.
You can do that
Always,
whenever.
always.
Shout out.
But,
another
you know,
thing I hate about the NCAA, if this isn't commonly known, but they don't allow you to work during your season. So there's no source of income for
Yeah.
yourself during the season.
Right.
And that I think is something that like you may have viewers out there that are thinking like, oh well, I work at Charlie's 6 hours a night, and like we understand that, but there's nobody telling you can't work. Like what he
Right.
just said, like we are told not to work. Like more specifically him right now with where he's at in school. But for the majority of the time, and like as a JUCO guy, it's not necessarily as strict on like when we can work and when we can't, stuff
Right.
like that. But you don't have time. It just boils down to you do not have time between traveling and practice and games and school and everything else you have to do. You don't have time to go make money.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. But go
ahead.
Sorry, I was going to go ahead and let Massey, because Massey was the one that said yes and no.
Right.
So he's the one that's a little bit
wanna
against.
hear it
So
now.
let's hear what you have to say about it.
Okay, so my take on this is I do think that they need to get paid, but where the no comes in is it shouldn't be by the schools. So as you had mentioned before, like
Okay.
it should not be like certain people get paid more or it's a bidding war.
Yeah.
And I think something that could help limit that is you have to be paid by organizations outside of your college that have been approved by the NCAA. And I know that could raise up a lot of questions, but let's be honest, no matter what the solution is to this that eventually comes, there are going to be question marks for it no matter what.
Yeah.
So I think that like the way you can
There's
do
always
that,
pushback.
yeah, there's never going to be a perfect answer. Like it's just one of those problems that will not have a perfect answer.
Exactly.
So if you get paid by organizations, like I saw a stat the other day on Twitter or something, and it was talking about some of the following on social media that these people get, that like social media influencers get paid X amount of dollars for however many followers and how often they post and all that good stuff. And then you have all these college athletes that could be making just as much, if not more than these people, but aren't allowed to
Yeah.
because they're a college athlete. And we were discussing this earlier. There was the punter or kicker from UCF
kicker, yeah.
that quit playing college football
Yeah.
because he had a YouTube channel that was successful enough for him to get paid and make a livelihood off
so
that.
stupid. Like,
Yeah, just
why?
open that up for,
Yeah.
and that, like, one of those organizations could be like YouTube. So if you're a popular YouTuber, if you're a famous TikToker, Instagram influencer, whatever your thing is, those should be the organizations that pay you.
Yeah.
But again, it should also be stipend by how much, like the school, like everything should be even. There has to be an even cut, or again, you're going to get into a bidding war.
And that's going to be obviously at the highest level, right? I mean, because actually, to be honest with you, I am subscribed to both Destroying, which is a Division I kicker, the UCF kicker that we talked about. I'm a big YouTube guy. The NCAA basically proposed to him once he hit, I think, 500,000 subscribers. You either keep playing football or you quit and you can continue YouTube. But how are you going to tell me that I have to quit something that I worked my butt off for and am now making money off?
Yeah.
There's another D3 guy. He was a basketball player, Devontae something, but he's hitting, I think he just hit like close to 500,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
But obviously YouTube has a platform you can do it, but at the same time, there's going to be biased. Because think of like the softball, the Oregon softball girls.
Haley Cruz.
Yeah.
On TikTok. Yeah, that was another thing. Like, this isn't just college football. This isn't just college basketball.
Yeah.
This is women's sports, men's sports, you name it. People get famous one way or another on these social media platforms, and they could be the most random athlete at the most oddball school in the middle of nowhere. But if they get popular and they're popular enough to make money off of it, who is the NCAA to tell them that they cannot make money?
Exactly.
I feel like I kind of told y'all about this earlier, but this is the last thing we'll say because we're kind of out of time on this segment. But I feel like they're looking for a happy medium, and I want to get y'all's take on this. So what if the happy medium was you can either accept pay and sponsorships, or you can accept a scholarship? So you can't have both. Does that make sense? So, like, let's say when Tua was in college, he didn't take a scholarship, but he's getting sponsored by Nike, by whatever, by Gatorade. He's getting all that money. He's paying for school, plus he's probably making a lot extra because he's on the biggest platform.
100%.
But he's not also getting the scholarship that the rest of the players get, if that makes sense. So I feel like that makes it to where, typically the argument is, well, they already get paid. They already get their school paid for it and their free food and their free books, which, yes, they do, but
but it doesn't equal out at all.
It doesn't equal out at all.
We're making $3 an hour then. Okay,
exactly.
That's not fair.
So what if they said, okay, well, you can have this or this? What do you guys think about that?
I love it.
Yeah?
100%
I like
love it.
But I really, really think it depends on which school you go to. So especially for mid-majors, you could go to a school that is strong locally.
Yeah.
So there's all these local brands that'll be like, oh, we'll sponsor you for this and this and this. But if you go to a school that's a mid-major and doesn't necessarily have community ties, then that's completely different. You're accepting your scholarship there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, what if the scholarship was like on a contract basis? Like you could change it up every year. Say your freshman year, you take the scholarship because you're not sure about sponsorships. You get in contact with companies, and then after that's up, you decide your sophomore year, you know what, I just want to go off sponsorships this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like there's a way they can do it.
I mean, ultimately, yes, sponsorships, but like you said, it's going to have to be a contract basis. The NCAA is clearly far off from this. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but it should. There needs to be a legal push that players, for despite the sport, can get paid. And like you said, Tua doesn't matter anyway. He can go pick any car he wants off of Saban's lot, and he's got his money right there.
I think the only problem that you would have with like the contract basis would be, say that you have a student, like you said, that takes a scholarship out of high school, and maybe this company's betting on them blowing up big their freshman year, and for some injury, whatever, something happens and they don't. And then they come back and they're like, well, I want to be on scholarship now. Okay, well, now if you're the school and you don't have a scholarship spot, then what happens to that kid? If he turns down the contracts, like there would have to be a signing period of some sorts to where they could at least like talk about like a free agency period, essentially.
See, but that's getting into like really like logistical, like technical parts of it. We're just kind of giving an idea, but like I'm sure they could set a limit to the contract and scholarship, but we're not going to get into all that because we're really out of time on this segment. So we're going to take
players
and bring back NCAA football.
100%.
As much as I don't like the Coach Doug's thing, it's huge, and just imagine how it'd be if it was on next gen consoles, PlayStation.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll be right back with Third Strike and Show and Tell. So we'll
Feels like
see.
98.
Yeah, sure.
Go Dogs.
Welcome back into the Common Fan. We're going into our weekly segment of Show and Tell, and it's Massey's turn. So let's see what you got,
Hey,
bro.
Dan.
You're up,
We'll
sucker.
see it.
All right. So this week I saw on Twitter there was a graphic that had been put out by the Public Information and Statistics Society.
What does that spell?
Piss.
Nice.
He told me that earlier, and I was like, that definitely spells piss.
That's not the point of the segment, though. So we're just gonna keep rolling through it.
Okay, so Piss put out a study. Go ahead.
So Piss put out a study, and it has all of the fast food restaurants voted on by each state of what the state's favorite fast food restaurant is, or chain, or whatever.
Sure.
Yes.
So of course you got your McDonald's, your Taco Bells, your Pizza Huts, In-N-Out, Whataburger.
Tell me there's a Chick-fil-A somewhere.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah,
to say,
Chick-fil-A.
yeah.
Chick-fil-A is pretty prominent in the South.
Georgia.
Yep.
Nice.
And actually, no, my fault.
You don't know your states. Just keep going.
It's okay.
KFC is actually.
There's no way. Keep
No.
going.
So anyways, so I wanted to get y'all's thoughts on Tennessee's favorite fast food restaurant, according to this article,
It's Chick-fil-A.
Long John Silver's.
Piss lie.
That's piss poor.
Piss
That's actually
Hashtag.
god-awful. That's
Yeah,
terrible.
that's terrible.
I personally enjoy Long John Silver's.
Shut up.
Like,
He's
I would
off the show.
I would,
we tried to bring him back, man. We tried to bring him
I
back.
would
Wrong
take
places.
it over Captain D's any day of the week.
Wrong. Just wrong.
But-
Wrong.
They're the same thing.
No.
We always
but
get into
better.
arguments about
better.
food. And I don't know why, but
We're passionate.
I'm very passionate about this. Long John Silver's is
Sucks.
terrible.
It's
I
terrible.
disagree. I personally disagree. I
That's
like
because
it.
you live in Columbia and
All right.
there's a Long John Silver's in Columbia and it tastes mediocre, so they're like, oh, it's great.
I actually did grow up less than 2 minutes away from
Of
the Long
course you
John
did.
Silver's,
See?
so there
You-
were a lot of nights after
They see.
practices where we
Exactly.
would come home and grab it, and it always slapped.
He was actually born inside of Long John Silver's.
Actually,
Stall 3.
across the road at the Murray Regional.
No, that might as well be a Long John
Wow.
Silver's. Sorry.
If
Still
I
like
had
it.
to vote on this, I couldn't tell you the last time I don't know if I've ever eaten at a Long John Silver's. I've been
Yeah.
to Captain D's, but it's honestly been years since I've been to a Captain D's.
How do they decide that?
They're both
That was
trash.
my question or another question, I guess. Who votes on these? Because I know like all four of us are from Tennessee.
Yeah.
We all live here, are active
Yeah.
in our communities.
Like-
I have never been polled for any of these
No.
types of things.
Like you like Long John Silver's, correct?
Correct.
But is it your favorite fast food restaurant?
No.
Okay, so
Okay.
does anybody here know of somebody that's like Long John Silver's is my favorite fast
bet
food
there's
restaurant?
some
No.
people-
Because it's not just saying we think it's good. It's
Yeah.
saying
What's the
that
one in
it's
best.
like
Spring Hill?
our
Is it Captain D's?
favorite.
Captain
yeah.
D's,
It's
yeah.
in
But I
Spring
bet
Hill.
there's some
gross.
people in some really small towns that's
That's
their
all they
only
have.
option.
Oh,
So
sure,
like,
that's true.
I guess they could get some hype on social media, get some hype on the like internet somehow. But that's all I can see.
Yeah, but what poll is running in the middle of nowhere that only has a Long
Yeah.
John Silver's?
Time
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Can you read us off what California's is?
It's got to be In-N-Out.
Denny's,
Denny's.
No, this is
no.
dumb.
What about like
First of all, what?
Texas?
Whataburger.
Yeah,
that's
see,
good.
I
See,
can see we
see
can
that.
agree with that.
But when y'all think of Whataburger, what other state do y'all think of?
I think of Florida.
Florida, right?
Give me Utah.
Dave and Buster's is Florida's, by the way.
okay.
Yeah. Do you know
I
where
mean,
Utah is? I don't know
Yes.
where Utah
I was
is.
just testing him hard to see if you could find it on a map.
Give me Rhode Island.
Wait, can you time out? Read Hawaii's as well.
Burger King.
Burger King.
They
What?
don't
Which,
even
to be fair,
have those.
I've been to Hawaii. It was when I was a lot younger. I don't remember even seeing that many fast food restaurants. So that could also be another situation where there's only so many options.
They only have a Burger
But-
King.
Yeah, like if there's like one Burger King within a 50-mile radius, you just picked up hundreds of votes of whoever's voting on these things.
The last time I remember ever eating at one of these fast food fish restaurants was I was in high school. Y'all were in middle school, and y'all had a pancake breakfast at Captain D's.
That happened way too often, and I don't know why.
No. Why in the world do you have a pancake breakfast at Captain D's?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
I would like to throw it out there. I was not in school with these guys at this time, so we did not make that mistake.
Yeah, so wouldn't
They
like
are
your-
making pancakes on these same
Exactly,
grills
exactly.
of fish grease.
It tastes like fish. The freaking pancakes
It's
taste
like
like
the
fish.
it's like the ice cream
It's
flavor,
terrible.
like the ice cream flavor fish food It's just fish cakes,
Oh,
Yeah.
which just makes it sound even worse now that I've said it out loud.
I cringe just thinking about that.
Like that brought up a memory that I had way deep down. Like I guess I had blocked that
Yeah,
memory
we
from
unlocked
me.
it right there.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed apparently that we had
Blocked it all out.
yeah, that it was just blocked out. But since Braxton said that, I'm like, oh
And you
no,
got- those
we
things-
did eat fish pancakes.
Those things you got up at like 5:45 and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I have to start working at 6
Yeah.
a.m. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? And
At a-
then like 12 people come.
I had a Captain D's for pancakes. That's disgusting.
By the way, to bring up one of our former segments from weeks past, there are actually multiple states where Chuck E. Cheese is the famous fast food
I
restaurant.
saw that. I saw that.
I wonder if they just finessed the system.
You know, all
Like,
the
just
kids were the
hacked
ones
the
voting.
votes.
That's probably it. It was just kids voting.
What kid's gonna vote for Long John Silver's?
Or Dave
A
and Buster's.
country
Can they even
one.
go to Dave and Buster's without a parent?
No.
no, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Couldn't
Must
afford
have
anything
ID.
if they
Well,
got
technically,
there.
kids can't go anywhere without a parent. I don't know the last
I mean,
time I
they
saw
could
a
walk down.
4-year-old drive up to a Chuck E. Cheese.
They could walk down the road.
Bro, these rich 12-year-olds snag Ubers now and just go wherever they
Oh,
want.
that's
Exactly.
okay. Okay,
Yes.
I'll take that one. I'll take that one to the
Shoot.
chin. That's a
Brentwood
very
kids.
good point.
Brentwood.
I'm done with
Yeah,
this.
okay, we're done with this. Long John Silver's, you suck. We're gonna get into
Hey,
third
no,
strike.
No
No.
sponsorships.
I don't
Long John
care.
Silver's sponsor me specifically.
He actually
I will
hates you.
accept
He's just
it.
doing it for.
I'll
for
eat
the-
all the little crunchies at the bottom of the box.
You're disgusting.
The best
Give me
part.
your third
Yeah.
strike.
My
Best
skin is
part.
crawling.
Give me your third strike. Go.
Hold on, you put me on the spot
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
got
think
Third
my
strike.
It's fast.
Is on the MLB. MLB, take 2 weeks out of your season and send your best players to the Olympics for the growth of the game. You have no better opportunity. Quit being stupid and do it now.
There won't be an MLB season because they can't agree upon anything. The MLBPA and the MLB owners are so butting heads right now, and it's just never going to come to agreement, especially this season.
Wow. Okay. First
This
off,
is going so like I hate the MLB.
Well, they're being idiots.
they are. They really are. But I'm not going to dig into it. But honestly, NCAA, we talked about it. Pay your players.
There
Quit
you go.
being stubborn. Quit keeping all this money. You've got enough. Pay your players. Also, visors aren't real hats.
Good point. I love
Disagree.
that. All right, my third
Disagree.
strike has nothing to do with sports. But if you think that Xbox is better than PlayStation, you are a loser.
Take your shirt
and you
off.
have no friends.
Stop it. You have an Xbox shirt underneath that.
That is
I know
not
you
true.
do. I have an
I'm the
Xbox.
third party, and I actually own neither.
It doesn't matter.
No
Anyway,
one asked.
This kid's probably playing his Wii when he goes home.
We actually do
Point
have
on,
a Wii.
Tori.
of course you have a
We do
Wii.
have a Wii.
Well, that's all the time we have for the Common Fan this week. Thank you all for joining us. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Twitter at The Common Fan. Instagram at The Common Fan Official. All that jazz. We'll see you next time. Stop saying
Go.
that.
Go, Doug.
Yeah.